Hello everyone, I'm Breor and welcome back to Good Game Empire. This is a game that I played for over 4 years, and so nowadays I get very excited whenever I learn something new. The intricacies of combat, and of defense in particular, have always presented an interesting challenge for me. A great way to learn more about attacking and defending is to look at the reports your alliance members forward to you. Inspecting one report in particular has influenced my thinking on defense setups, and I'd like to share my thoughts with you in today's video. This is the report in question. While it may not look exceptional at first, it caught my attention because I know from personal experience that Lizard Joe is a very difficult player to defend against. The talented player in question lies only a few units away from my Fire Peaks castle, and you guessed it, our two alliances are at war. Naturally, I was curious to see how this solid defense was accomplished. To my surprise, the defender was able to ward off the center of the attack with troops on the wall to spare. As a war marshal here in Kingdom of Nef 2, I normally advocate against the use of a center defense because I rarely see them go successfully. While the defender has more tool slots in the center, the attacker has more tools as well and is also able to send far more troops. Players who are overconfident sometimes opt for the center defense without even considering the alternatives, and again, it doesn't normally work out well. I know the defense in this case was all melee, and that the defender used fire motes and lime bombs, but what was really special was the number of troops he was able to put on the wall, a whopping 717. I don't know that this was the most possible, but it was by far and away the most I have ever seen. You may be wondering how this was accomplished. There were certainly many factors that went into it, and I'll be breaking this question into parts and answering it during my next 3 defense-related videos. In today's video, I will be talking almost exclusively about unique Castellan equipment, so I suppose I might as well show you the Castellan that was used in this defense. It appears to be the Castellan that was offered as a prize for completing last year's winter seasonal event, but that's an assumption I am making, and not one I should probably make. While the Castellan is quite nearly devoid of any courtyard bonus, it provides an impressive boost to the number of troops that can fit onto the wall. Again, this is only a part of the picture, but it's a big part, and certainly not one we should overlook. Examining this battle report brought to my attention the merit of using flank gems. The gems embedded into this Castellan are probably not ordinary gems. My guess is that they are instead unique gems from the summer seasonal Castellan or elsewhere, and that they provide multiple bonuses. It should come as no surprise to you that I am not going to be able to make a Castellan as good as this one in today's video, but let me show you the 2 sets I've been working on and with recently. I have one fully completed and upgraded Kala's Mysteries Castellan set from last summer's seasonal event. This is a really impressive Castellan that enables its owner to defend properly against 5th wave attacks. While it appears to the untrained eye as an 83-83, it's actually a 90-90 because the gems also contribute to defender combat strength. The set offers a fair amount of courtyard strength and a fair amount of extra wall space, so again, the chances of one being able to secure a flank and fight on a level playing field in the courtyard are pretty good. If you don't know already, if only one section of the wall is defeated, the attacker will receive a reduction in combat strength for battles in the courtyard. If 2 wall sections are defeated, neither the attacker nor the defender will have an advantage, and a combat bonus will be awarded to the attacker if all 3 sections are defeated. Because the outcome of the battle to hold the wall is such a large factor in courtyard combat, it's pretty much necessary for our Castellan to provide us with the opportunity to at least hold a flank. Using the Kala's Mysteries Castellan set, I can put 507 defenders on the wall. You can check to see how many defenders you can put on the wall by going to the defenses panel in your castle and looking here. It's worth mentioning that the set is solid elsewhere as well. With a 100% bonus to wall strength and an 85% bonus to that of the gate, this Castellan can be rather intimidating. The set also provides its owner with a fair deal of advanced warning, which discourages opponents from attempting to send late detection style attacks. Even though all of these things exist to the set's credit, I am rather disappointed with how uncustomizable the thing really is. I imagine that most players would actually see this as a positive, given that it eliminates the need to make further Castellan changes in time for an incoming attack. My view, however, is that the Summer Castellan is solid in all regards, but exceptional in none. I am not without other options when it comes to defense. When facing smaller attacks, I could probably get away with using this completed set from the Storm Islands, or even something assembled from legendaries. However, the primary alternative to the summer cast, at least in my case, would have to be the spring one. As a player who has never really put down a lot of money on this game, I have come to note that the seasonal events have really helped broaden my horizons in terms of equipment. Unlike the summer set I have right now, this spring set has yet to be completely upgraded at the Technicus. The spring Castellan set reaches a 90/90 status without needing 80 upgrades, which is nice because the last few upgrades of the Technicus are obviously the most expensive. The cost of upgrading equipment will naturally vary with luck, but upgrading 4 pieces from base to plus 20 won't cost you less than 10 million coins unless, of course, you use rubies. One does have a limited amount of control over the final attributes of this set because one gets to pick the gems one uses. Until recently, I believed that courtyard gems were the unerring way to go. Seeing the report I showed you earlier has convinced me otherwise, and I am happy to report that, with 4 rampart gems, I am able to put up 555 troops on the wall with this Castellan. Remember, the point of this video is not to purport that I have the best equipment in the game, or that the numbers I put up are unobtainable or unexceedable by others. I know some of my audience is more powerful and more experienced than I am. When I talked about decorative items in another of my videos, I received a comment from a player saying his public order was higher than mine. This may or may not have been a jerky thing to say, and while I never commented on the matter, some others did. One commenter responded that this wasn't possible because I have the highest public order attainable in the game. The problem with that statement is that it's not true. While I appreciate the fanaticism, there will always be people stronger than I, and it's not really a competition unless we make it into one. In the coming weeks and months, I will look to improve this Castellan by obtaining higher level rampart gems. I believe that the battle for Bearmond could be a good source for these gems, but it hasn't appeared in a long time, and I will have to wait to confirm. Like the defender in the report I showed you earlier, I too have some leftover unique gems that would be great to apply to this set. These gems here are both left over from unfinished iterations of the summer seasonal event. Both offer more troops on the wall and more melee combat strength, and I have no doubt that they would be better than the gems I am using now. I doubt highly that I will be able to get the first set bonus even if I put them together into the spring set. While I could go ahead and find that out now, I am currently waiting to see if this year's winter seasonal event will also offer Castellan gems. If it does, there is a good chance that I will be able to combine 4 unique gems and get even greater set bonuses on top of my spring Castellan. I recently estimated that, had I been able to use all 4 unique gems from last summer's Castellan set, I could have turned my spring set into the following: 107 melee, 107 ranged, 100 wall, 100 gate, 65 moat, 15 courtyard, 63 wall space, 65 detection, 45 safe storage, and 18 glory in defense. This would have been better than the Kala's Mysteries Castellan, so I am hopeful that this winter's seasonal event will bring with it a new 9-piece Castellan set with strong gems. I am also hopeful that an event will appear soon that will give me an opportunity to pick up a Castellan look. Castellan looks change the appearance of your castle, but they also offer you an opportunity to include an extra gem in your defense. While looks do disintegrate and eventually are destroyed over time, while they exist they can be used to improve the wall space or the courtyard combat strength of your defense. I imagine that I will be able to use my summer Castellan whenever I have a ton of troops in the courtyard, for, in that instance, courtyard bonuses are obviously more valuable. I think the spring Castellan, when completed, will enable me to hold the wall against even a poorly tooled 6-wave attack. Regardless of which Castellan should be considered objectively better or more versatile, I believe that it is important to have the ability to switch things up for those who would attack me. I would be remiss if I failed to mention in this video the importance of owning a fireproof Castellan, like the one I am showing you now. This is the Castellan I use whenever I find myself in a situation where it would be impossible or impractical to defend. Without it, I would have to spend rubies opening my gate, or I would have to spend time, resources, and accelerators repairing damage to my buildings. You can make your own fireproof Castellan using legendary equipment and fire reduction gems. You will need to construct fire stations in your castles before they are completely flame retardant, and you should always watch out for when your opponent is using a destruction increasing commander. If you're interested in earning the Kala's Mystery set or the Forest Spirits set I showed off in today's video, unfortunately I don't know that they will ever again be available. However, you should keep your eye out for future seasonal Castellan sets, because they will likely be just as good, if not better, than the ones, again, I have showed you today. With all that being said, thank you very much for watching today's video. I hope that you learned something, or at least were entertained. Please feel free to post your thoughts about this video or this topic in the comment section below. I always appreciate it when the comment section turns into a forum for strategy, critique, and higher level thinking. I've been Breor, and I'll catch you in the next video.